What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their Week 16 matchup with the New York Jets in the 2019 NFL season, and it was pretty ugly. It kind of keeps the form of most of the season on offense. It is, again, what you would expect from this injury-riddled 2019 Steelers team. Playing with a lot of injuries coming into the game, getting a lot of injuries in this game, and not having much to show for it. Without telling you guys who won right off the bat, the final score is 16-10. It's another typical Steeler game where this defense bends a little but doesn't break much, doesn't allow many points, only allows one touchdown, but just can't get anything going on offense. It's just one of those games where you look and say, man, if we only had Ben, if we only had any of our stars in the past, whether it be Ben, Brown, Bell, who played for the Jets today, fully healthy Juju, a fully healthy Connor. I mean, you just wonder what the difference would be if we had our stars with this defense. I mean, for years and years now, Ben has played the first half of his career with a bad O-line and the second half of his career with a bad defense. And now he's got both a pretty good offensive line and a really good defense, the best defense we've seen on this team in the last 9 years. And we don't get to enjoy it because as good as the defense is, the offense can't get anything going at all. We kind of saw Duck Hodges being exposed in this game. Let's get to the offensive numbers, and I'll kind of fill you guys in on the offense of this game, the lack of offense in this game. For those of you guys tuning in for just the score, the Steelers lost 16-10. So yes, we only allowed one touchdown on defense and 3 field goals, but could only muster 1 touchdown and 1 field goal on offense. Devlin Duck Hodges, not his best game once again. 11 of 17, but just 84 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mason Rudolph coming in relief, 14 of 20, 129 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. James Conner, the leading rusher, 6 carries, 32 yards. He went out with injury, I think in the, third quarter? He went out with injury. Kerrith White Jr. came in, was the leading rusher after that for 6 carries for 22 yards. Diontae Johnson leading the way, receiving 8 catches, 81 yards, and the Steelers' only touchdown of the game. So offensively, Duck Hodges comes out right away, first drive, interception. Then early in the second quarter, gets another interception. Both were pretty bad throws. One was just not reading a blitzer over the middle that dropped back into coverage. The second one, I'm trying to think of what the second one was. I think it was an overthrown ball. I can't remember. But 2 bad passes from Hodges, one of which was in scoring range where we could have gotten a field goal from Boswell that Hodges threw the pick on. So 2 interceptions with nothing to show points-wise in the first 4 or 5 drives, and then he got pulled for Mason Rudolph. That makes then basically 5 interceptions in just over 5 quarters for Duck. Duck had 4 picks last week and 2 more within the first minute of the second quarter in this game. So yeah, pretty much 6 picks in 5 quarters. Not very impressive considering that about 4 of those 6 picks were Hodges' fault as well. So not very impressive for him. Just not getting anything going, not showing any improvements, just not getting the ball out fast enough. Mason Rudolph did look better in relief. Like I said, 14 of 20 for 129. Did have really the best play of the game on offense for us, which was toward the end of the first half. He threw one up, and Diontae Johnson got wide open on a streak down the sidelines and made a nice catch for the touchdown. So that was a good play by Rudolph. Rudolph did get the ball out a lot quicker. He looked like he was making faster reads, choosing a couple of short slants, quick outs, just getting the ball out of his hands quick. Still wasn't super impressive. He did make the one nice touchdown pass, but other than that, it was kind of just really slowed down after that. Like I said, 1 minute left in the first half. We got the touchdown. Second half, no points, nothing to show for it. Then Rudolph got injured, and Hodges came back in for the second era. I guess Ducks have 2 lives where Cats have 9. But didn't show anything. Got sacked a lot, stood around a lot, missed a couple of guys in the middle of the field. Just was not impressive at all. So nothing much to show for it. Rudolph was the more impressive of the 2 quarterbacks today. But neither guy really, aside from the 1 touchdown pass, did anything. Running the ball again, James Conner. I'm ready to give up on James Conner as the Steelers feature back here in Pittsburgh. He's a likable guy. He's got a lot of heart. You can tell that he trains hard when he's practicing. He's got a great story overcoming cancer. He's a hometown hero kind of a guy. When he's in there, he runs hard. He makes guys miss with his feet. He's shown a proclivity to catch the ball and improvements in catching the balls when he's been in there. He's worked hard and done everything you could ask him to do as a person and a player when he's healthy. The problem is he's never healthy. He hasn't been healthy now the entire run. He wasn't healthy at the end of last year. He wasn't healthy at all this year. So it takes him a while to get back into it. And when he finally starts getting back into it is when he gets hurt again. Excuse me. So I'm really kind of over the James Conner experience here in Pittsburgh. We at the very least have to draft or find our number one running back somewhere else. And Conner can fill in when he's healthy. He can be a change of pace back. He can be a good number two. He can be a third down guy. Conner can be a piece of this team, but he is not the feature back because, again, the injuries really stop him from getting to the next level. He looks like he's about to break through sometimes, and then he goes and misses 3 or 4 games, comes back, starts slow, finally gets back into it, gets hurt again. So he's not the guy. Kerrith Whyte did get more carries today than usual. Really only had 1 or 2 solid runs, nothing special. 6 for 22. Did have 1 nice return on kick returns, so he's got a burst. I like seeing what he can do on this team. Receiving-wise, again, there's not much to show for it because the quarterbacks didn't do much. But Deontay Johnson did look very good in this game, making guys miss, getting the touchdown, 8 for 81. Washington, I think, had 40-something yards on 3 or 4 catches. He made a couple of nice contested catches, doing what he does all year long, but didn't have many targets. Juju had 2 for 22. I think he only had like 3 or 4 targets all game long, so he made a couple of plays. I think one was a third down to extend the drive, but didn't get many looks his way. So it's early in the season. I thought it was guys not getting open. Now I'm starting to think it's just the quarterbacks not being able to read for them. Also, Marquise Pouncey went down with an injury. Did not return. B.J. Finney was the center in there. Did make several mistakes right away coming in there. Stepping on Hodges' foot, or someone's foot, Rudolph's foot. I forget whose foot it was. But stepped on a quarterback's foot, causing a sack. Also getting a couple low snaps in there to Hodges, causing him to be unable to throw the ball, including the last play of the game when Hodges threw the 4th down play up. It was because the snap was super low and Hodges had to bend over and pick it up. So not giving your quarterbacks time to throw the ball means the line needs better protection and the center has to get on the same page. So hopefully Finney's not in there for too long. Hopefully Marquise Pouncey's healthy. Defensively, pretty proud of this game. We did allow 16 points. Just 1 touchdown on the first drive of the game. It was a contested catch. Robbie Anderson went down there. He got past Terrell Edmunds. Edmunds did get beat, but Edmunds and Hayden both had coverage on him, and it was a pretty good coverage, but Anderson went up over the top, got a high catch, and held on to the ball contested. So even though it was a nice catch, and Edmunds did get beat in positioning, it was you can't defend it much better than that. So even on the 1 touchdown we had, it was well defensed. All in all, after that first touchdown, we only allowed 9 points the whole rest of the game, so you can't really complain too much about that. And in spite of the fact that the Steelers couldn't do anything with the ball whatsoever, they were able to pretty much maintain good field position the entire time. Jordan Berry did a nice job. He did have 1 kind of weak punt, but Berry overall was solid. The rest of the punts had the Jets getting the ball at the 10, 15-yard line, consistently getting it starting inside the 20. Which made our defense kind of be able to pin their heels back a little bit. They didn't get a ton of pressure. The Jets' O-line did a nice job, but they managed to get in there on Le'Veon Bell and cause him to go under 3 yards a carry. I think he had 25 carries for 72 yards, so they stopped the running game pretty well. They overall on the receivers pretty well also. Vincent Smith got out a few times. Anderson had the 1 touchdown, but all in all, pretty solid on coverage for the day. Terrell Edmunds still not a great cover guy. He does get beat, but he's very good at tackling and rallying to the ball and blitzing and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying what Edmunds is doing as far as the physical aspect of it. He just has to get better in reading and coverage. Mike Hilton played pretty well in the slot today. Cam Sutton got a couple nice reps as well. Defensive stats, big guys that stood out. T.J. Watt once again, Defensive Player of the Year. I said it last week. I'll say it again. He got the trifecta today. He got the big 3-peat. Sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery, which was big and huge to help our offense out, even though it didn't do much anyway. But Watt being Watt, he's got to be in the very fine conversation, top 3. At the very least, top 3, if not number 1, for Defensive Player of the Year. Bud Dupree, playing out of his mind, now has 10.5 sacks for the season. He got a sack in this game, taking him up to, I think, what is his career high at 10.5. Very lights out season for him, best season of his career by far. Also had a 13-yard tackle for a loss on a rally play to Le'Veon Bell, where Bell tried to loop around and Bud Dupree rallied. So Dupree and Watt were two of our big game ball MVPs on defense today. Also Mark Barron. Again, I'm going to come to Mark Barron's defense. I do it every single week. But he had 6 tackles today. He played the run well. He covered well plenty of times today. He had 2 or 3 different plays. He had to stay with Bell in coverage. He just was really keeping guys short on their routes. Quick tackles, rallying to the ball. So all in all, I would say that Dupree, Watt, and Barron were your big MVPs on defense today. Also, I like what Bush is doing, getting to the ball quickly. He's making a lot of tackles, and his speed is really helping us a lot. So all in all, good standout day for the defense. Dupree did get hurt, but he came back in the game later on. Cam Hayward got hurt, but came back in the game later on. So those guys seem to be okay now and healthy. But we do fall in this game 16-10, and we fall to 8-7. So now what happens is we have the Ravens next week. As of this recording, Tennessee is losing their game, and it seems they're going to lose to the Saints. That might change. Don't quote me on that. But even if Tennessee loses and goes to 8-7 as well, Pittsburgh will retain the 6th seed for this week. But it's all down to next week. Pittsburgh plays Baltimore, and Tennessee plays Houston. If Tennessee beats Houston, they are in. They jump ahead of us, regardless of our outcome, because they will have the better conference record than us. It goes to conference games and strength of schedule, which Tennessee would win. So if Tennessee wins next week, it is out of our hands now. If we would have won today and won next week, we'd be in the playoffs automatically. We controlled our own destiny. We no longer do. We lost that right today by losing to an inferior Jets team. That's our fault. Now Tennessee has had the opportunity. If Tennessee beats Houston next week, they jump ahead of us and they're in the playoffs. Tennessee has to lose next week, and we have to beat the Ravens, who seem to have nothing to play for now at 13-2. So we have to win and hope to get help now, because we lost our opportunity. We had a chance to win and get in. We lost to a bad team. Here we are now. What do you guys think of the Steelers next week against the Ravens and Tennessee against Houston? Are we going to get in? Are we going to win our game? Are we going to get the help we need? And what do we need for next season? We need a successor to Big Ben Roethlisberger for the future, because Hodges and Rudolph are not it. We need to find a number 1 running back, whether it's on this team or somewhere else, because Connor's too injured. We got to find our sure success in tight end, because McDonald's always too injured. We got to figure out what we have on this offense, because this defense deserves better. Tell me in the comments below what you guys think, and I will see you guys next week.